Welcome back. We're here to talk about Saturday's Premier League match between West Ham United and Leicester. Two of the standout performers on the opening day of the season, Pascal. We'll start with West Ham. Fantastic win at Arsenal.
Absolutely brilliant, yeah. I don't think many people would have picked them to go to the Emirates and get a win like that, and it was such an impressive display, wasn't it? I mean, I know Arsenal weren't at their best, but you have to credit West Ham for the way they played. You know, they took their chances when they came, and just some standout performances all over the park, really. You know, the first goal, I mean, both goals you question. I mean, all the headlines are about Petr Cech and his nightmare debut, but I think Payet, you know, it's a fantastic delivery right into that danger zone. I think you have to question Coquelin, really. He played a lot of players on side there. He was behind the line. And I think it's more about the defence in that situation, because if you put a ball in that good a position, you know, the keeper doesn't know whether to come or go. It was just a brilliant delivery, and then the second one from Zarate, I mean, you know, it's lazy again from Arsenal on the edge of the box, getting caught in possession, but Zarate just to, you know, take that quick shot, check, he completely caught off guard, wasn't he? And a brilliant goal, and then West Ham, you know, they saw the result out for the rest of it. Just a fantastic start to the season.
It was, and as you mentioned, so many standout performances. Payet for me was superb. The whole match, he just ran out the defence. He showed good pace, good strength. He's top of the chances created last season in the whole Europe's top 5 leagues, I think, and he already looks like he's perfectly suited to the Premier League. There was Reece Oxford in the middle of the park, 16 years old, and just had Ozil in his back pocket. That was a superb performance. I think with him, you need to be careful with building out too much. And now Quinn was talking about a star was born. You need to be careful about that, I think, but it was certainly a fantastic debut performance from someone so young, first game in the Premier League at such a tough stadium as well. Neither of them even got man of the match. Reed got man of the match. He was superb at the back, just cleared everything that came his way. It's a fantastic start to the season for them, and I thought getting rid of Allardyce may have been a risk, may have been a mistake, because he's one of those managers who is guaranteed to keep you in the Premier League. Pretty much every club who've gone before him who've sacked Allardyce has lived to regret it, but that's a great start for Bilic. I think he would be so happy to see his new signings doing well in that one, and the new style of football doing well, which is what the chairman wanted. So all around, very positive signs for West Ham.
Certainly, I think the one thing for Oxford in particular is the fact that he'd had some game time in some European matches, you know, before this game. I know West Ham, they were bad in those European games. You know, only just scraped past the Maltese team. You know, they played an Andorran team, and then they go out. Who's it? Astra, wherever they're from, and it's just, I mean, really tough. You know, it wasn't a tough start to European football, and they should have been able to get through to the next round. So they were disappointing in Europe, but brilliant start to the Premier League, and they've got a big boost this weekend as well. Carl Jenkinson, he's back because he couldn't play against his parent club, and Tompkins played at right back there, sort of filling in there at right back. But if once Jenkinson's back, him and Cresswell, they love getting forward, and West Ham, they play quite a narrow midfield against Arsenal, and if they do that again, and if Cresswell and Jenkinson keep pushing on, it certainly gives them good width, and things look good for them at the moment.
They'll certainly be full of confidence, but they'll be coming up against another team full of confidence. Leicester's, they couldn't have dreamt for a better start to the season. 3-0 up within 25 minutes against Sunderland. It was such a good performance. It sort of carried on from the end of last season when they did that great escape, and they just the likes of Vardy, Mahrez, Albright, and all those sorts of players just got about the opposition, and it could have been a lot more than the 3 as well. Eventually 1-4-2, could have been more than that. For me, Mahrez is a very key player for them. I think he's the most skillful player in that side. He's got superb quality, but he was in and out of the team under Nigel Pearson. And if he can get a regular run of games under Ranieri, I think he could be a very dangerous player for them.
Yeah, he's certainly a different player to a lot of the others. Mahrez, like you say, very skillful, you know, the way he tricks in and out of players, but it's all the other players. They work so hard. They've got a real good try-hard attitude. A lot of those players. You look at Vardy. He never stops running. Okazaki on his debut, he caused Sunderland all sorts of problems with just the way he put himself about. And they've got so many other players like that who just love running. And as long as they're committed to Ranieri and, you know, passionate for the manager, I think that attitude, that's what pulled them through. You know, at the end of last season, you know, they had that. You know, they weren't good for sort of 2/3 of the season, but that attitude really came to the fore at the end of the season. I think if they keep going like that, they should be okay this season. They've got quite a nice start. You know, decent fixtures coming up. It was a great start to the season. I mean, West Ham, you know, this is a tough game after, you know, their start last week, but their fixtures coming up are quite gentle as well. So I think Ranieri will certainly be looking to a good start to the season.
Both sides looking to kick on from their opening day results. What's your score prediction?
I'm going to back West Ham in this one. I think, you know, Leicester, the first day of the season at home, you know, and Sunderland weren't great opposition that day, but I think West Ham, especially after what they did at the Emirates, I think there'll be a brilliant mood at Upton Park. You know, it's the last season at Upton Park as well. This is the first game at home of that last season, so I think I'm going to pick them to win here 3-1.
I agree with West Ham to win. I think Leicester have got a terrible record in the capital. I think it's 20 games without a win there. Lost all 6 there last season. I think they will be buoyed, by the opening day performance, and it'll be interesting to see how they kick on from that. But for me, West Ham, if they perform like they did against Arsenal, can beat most teams in the league, and I'll go for West Ham 2-0. So both going for West Ham win by 2 goals. Thanks for joining us.